Hey, what's up everyone? Danny here, 5K Q&A in May. Lots of questions have been coming in. We've been compiling them, but I'm trying to put them in order of the same subjects. And somehow, for some reason, a lot of people have been asking some boxing questions. I'm not an official boxing coach. Of course, I've been training in boxing. I have some knowledge about it. So it's just funny, but it's making me happy because I love boxing. So I'm going to answer this next question. The person is a boxer and he's asking me, should I stay stiff or should I be loose? What's the difference? Like, what's the difference about boxing punches, Muay Thai punches, mixed martial arts punches? Hey, I'm going to answer that right now. All right, so here we go. It doesn't matter. I talked about this in a previous video when I talked about the straight right versus the cross. A punch is a punch is a punch, all right? So it's the left or right side. But hey, whether you're a mixed martial artist, whether you're someone who's just going to defend himself on the street, whether you're a real boxer or a Thai boxer, kickboxing, it doesn't really matter, okay? The idea is you never want to be too stiff. I see it too often times where people are training, you know, and they said they've been training for like 6 months, 3 months, 3 years for that matter. And then the first thing I like to examine is how they shadow box. So that being said is I can tell within the first 10 seconds if someone's proficient or not. And don't take this personal if you're not. If you're starting out, that's fine. But if someone's been telling me, man, I've been training for 5 to 10 years and blah, 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 the first 10 to 15 seconds they're going to start shadow boxing. I'll tell if they've been training for real for 10, 15 years or they've been just, you know, training themselves in the basement, you know. So why do I know? It's how loose and how much finesse they have when they throw their punches and kicks for that matter, but we're talking about punches, right? So should you be stiff or should you be loose? Should you have a closed fist at all times or should you have open hands such as Bruce Lee style, you know? First off, you'll have boxing gloves so you won't see your hands. But inside of them, you shouldn't have a clenched fist like this. I think I made a video a few years back about how to make a fist. You should take a look. I'll post a link below. But first is to answer the question, you should never be too stiff, that's for sure. But you also shouldn't be too loose. It has to be a fine medium between both. Let me explain. If I'm shadow boxing or I'm fighting, my hands are going to be like if I'm holding an egg, okay, a raw egg, and I don't want to crush it and break the egg. So it's almost like I have to be delicate with how I clench my fists. But at the moment that I throw my punch though, all of that changes. I'm now holding a rock. All right, a very stubborn, stiff, hard rock. And now from the eggshell to the rock is boom, where the punch happens. And at the last second, the last millisecond, I should say, is where it makes contact. So slow motion, the hand will stay very loose. And you see here there's space. And it's almost like I'm starting to hold a dowel in my hand. And at the last moment when the impact or the contact makes, boom, that's when the connection happens. That's where the stiffness happens. If I start everything very stiff like this and I start to move around, number one, I'll be too robotic and my opponent will telegraph every time I'm going to throw a punch. So I can't be too stiff. Number two is if I am, a lot of lactic acid will build up in my forearms, in my biceps and triceps, my shoulders, my traps, and you'll get so tired just by being tense. And let alone if you're just starting out, your first 5, 6, 7 bouts, you'll be so nervous just from anxiety that you'll be stiff no matter what, right? So that's normal. So you don't want to add that extra stiffness by flexing for 3 minutes or a 5-minute round if you're MMA. So what'll happen is you have to learn when you're training. When you're training in the gym, at home, in your basement, in your garage, it doesn't matter. You have to learn and teach yourself, because it has to be taught. It is a skill to relax. It's so important to relax. I tell it all the times, whether it's jiu-jitsu people, it's MMA, wrestling, NOGI, boxing, MMA, if it's Thai boxing for MMA or just straight up Muay Thai, I always tell people, relax, learn to relax. So I always take their hands and I usually shake their hands like this and I say, keep the hands relaxed, you know, dust them off before you start. So a lot of times, even when I teach kids, I take their wrist and I shake it off like this and I'll tell them, you know, shake off the dust. Take the dust off your hands first and now just lightly close your fists. So you're not flexing like this. So you're going to be loose, all right? So that's why you see professional boxers, they'll just snap out their jab. And almost like they're snapping out their fingers more than a punch. And that helps to create, when you're training, the looseness. Because even though you're going to fight and you're going to have open hands, you're still loose inside your boxing gloves, all right? So you always have loose hands. The looser you are, the faster you'll be, okay? So in the fight game, you have to have a lot of attributes, and one of them is quickness. And if you have that, you're going to score a lot more often than your opponent will, and also you're going to score quicker than your opponent can actually see the attack coming. So it's really important. So once again, should I clench, should I be stiff, or should I be too loose? It's a little bit of a happy medium in between. If you have a great coach, they'll be able to look at you, take a look, and see, hey, you're too stiff or you're too loose. Most of the times, 90% of the times, it's too stiff rather than too loose. It's always the opposite. People are always clenching and they're walking around robotic like this. But the idea is you want to stay loose. That's why when I shadow box, a lot of times, it doesn't look like I'm putting zero effort. At the blind eye, it just looks like I'm going like 10%, and maybe sometimes to the naked eye, it looks like I don't even know what I'm doing, right? You're just going to shadow box and it's like half motions. It's almost like just the shoulder is punching, right? And you'll see professional boxers do this a lot, as opposed to being stiff as a board. This is no good, right? I'm exaggerating a little bit so you can see the difference, but it's always about being loose. So I'm going to leave you with this little tip is, how do you create that looseness? Well, number one, I talked about is always keep your hands loose. Imagine you're holding an egg and you're just snapping your punches out. Number two is learning to breathe. And number three is imagine your hands or your arms are just like elastics. If I take the elastic and I stretch it out, the moment I let go, it comes back. It retracts quicker than actually I stretch it out. Same thing with your punch. It's almost if it goes here, it comes back faster. So same thing, stay loose. Stay loose. And I'll leave you with a small drill. Here, I'll just make one up for the purpose of this video. I didn't even think about this, but I'll make one up for you is, throw some punches in bunches. So let's take a 3 count, for example, and let's do jab, cross, uppercut. Okay, everyone knows this one. So jab, cross, lead, uppercut. Let's throw this one. That's the 3 count. The moment you finish your third punch, which will be the lead uppercut, return into a jab. So for example, do this. Pop the jab out. See? 1, 2, 3, pop the jab out. 1, 2, 3, pop the jab out. Always from the shoulder. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. See how loose it looks? Now, train this and add a 3-punch combination followed by another 3-punch combination, but the trick is to start with the same hand you finished. So let's say 3 and 3, the first 3 was this, and now I reset and come back with another 3-punch. So jab, cross, up, jab, cross, hook, right? Bum, 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 bum. See? Nice and loose. Don't be stiff. Don't try you're not trying to squish a bug on the wall with a hammer. It's going to be the fly swatter, right? So same thing with your punches. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, so practice that. So here's a drill. I'm just making it up, but here's the drill you can do is 1, 2, 3, move around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, move around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See? Add them up and then start over again. 1, 2, 3, move around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now add a little bit more to this. Maybe a double jab to add some looseness, that effect, right? So now it's 3, 3, and 2. So bum, 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 bum. See? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pop, pop. See, facing you guys. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. See? So you're staying loose. Nothing's exhaustive about this. It's about being relaxed as you throw your punch and being snappy and finesse. Should I be stiff or loose? When I box, looser is better, all right? Catch you in the next video, guys. Keep the questions coming. If you have anything else, boxing, Muay Thai, mixed martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu, fitness, bring them on. I love answering these questions. I'm having fun reading them, and I'm having even more fun answering them. Guys, thanks a lot for your support. Leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't so already. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.